The Aquarion rework has arrived in beta. There are sharks, giant squids, lost cities, and so much more. Welcome to Poly Champions YouTube. Watch until the end for instructions on how you can try it out for yourself. Okay, let's take a look at the Aquarian changes in beta. Aquarion no longer starts with the riding tech and an amphibian. They don't start with any tech anymore. However, all their units have the float ability. That means their warriors, now called mermaids, can move on shallow water tiles from the get-go. Same for mermaid archers, mermaid defenders, mermaid cloaks, and my personal favorite, the swords maids. While Aquarian can no longer make ports or create naval units like scouts or bombers, they can send these land units into the water. Even Aquarian catapults can go on the water. Not having a starting tech makes Aquarian unusually weak on land, but this ability to start on the water and a warrior that can use it makes Aquarian strong on the water, which fits with the ocean theme. Next on the tech tree, let's look at fishing. Unlike regular tribe tech trees, fishing provides the deep water movement as part of this tier 1 tech. Before, the free diving tech gave deep water movement, but not anymore. Also, Aquarian can no longer build ports or make rafts. Another change to the tech tree is aquaculture. Yes, aquacrops are back, but only for Aquarion. Like farms, aquacrops cost 5 stars and provide 2 population. However, unlike farms, aquacrops do not synergize with windmills. Now let's look at the marine life tech and sharks. Sharks have 10 hit points, 3 attack, 3 defense, and 3 movement. These are the same stats as a warrior rammer. Sharks cannot move onto land unless they're attacking and sieging a city or village or ruin on the coast. Sharks also have the creep ability. This means a shark can move unimpeded through forests on flooded tiles. Crabs also now get the creep ability. Let's keep going along the tech tree. Navigation still allows the ability to harvest starfish, but it gives the new ability to make a unit called a yelly belly. These giant squid-looking creatures have float, stiff, and a new ability called tentacles. Tentacles create a zone of defense around the yelly that causes damage to any unit that moves next to the yelly. Tentacles also damage any unit the yelly moves next to. It reminds me a lot of the Juggernaut Stomp ability. So while the yelly technically has 0 for attack, the tentacles are more or less an attack area. Another interesting mechanism with tentacles is that a unit moves adjacent to the yelly, the unit will take damage before it can attack. Looking the other direction on the tech tree, the roads tech is now called Waterways and comes with 2 new items, atolls and flood. So what does an atoll do? Atolls are kind of like the Polaris outpost and kind of like Cymanti mycelium. They give one population and connect to other atolls and cities that are within a 3-tile radius. So they work similar to city connections through mycelium. The atoll doesn't need to be adjacent to a city to connect, just within your borders. And you can only build 1 atoll per city. Another new thing that Aquarian can do is to flood. Flooding turns a dry land tile into a wet land, which is a tile that both land and water units can move through. Aquarian units can flood land in their own territory, neutral territory, or even enemy territory. That means rammers, scouts, and bombers can move onto flooded tiles and attack. Naval units from any tribe can move through flooded tiles. When they move onto a flooded tile, those units also have the option to disembark. Regular tribes can build ports on flooded tiles. Mountain tiles cannot be flooded. You can tell from the mountain tile it doesn't have the flooded tag. The other important thing about the flood ability is that it takes a unit to actively change the tile and flood it. However, you can't do anything else with the unit if you're going to use it to flood. Here, I move an amphibian onto a land tile, and you cannot flood after you move. If you attack or you move, you can no longer flood. It's kind of like how you cannot heal a unit if you move or use it to attack. Also, you may need to flood a tile in order to allow it to connect with an atoll. A new feature that this update gives to non-Aquarian tribes is the landfill action. It's the opposite of flood. And like flood, units cannot move or attack if you want them to do the landfill. That's all they can do that turn. Moving along to a different branch of the tech tree, the construction tech has a new fertilize ability. This adds a crop to a flooded field tile, which you can later turn into a farm. This only works on flooded tiles, not land tiles. So you can flood a land tile, fertilize it, and then turn it into a farm. Next, let's talk about a few new features for Aquarian that are not associated with the tech tree. In certain situations, a ruin may turn into a city. These level 3 cities that sprout from ruins are called lost cities. They make 2 stars per turn and come with a wall. But not all ruins can become lost cities. If a ruin is not within 1 tile of a village or city, not on the edge of the map, and not on a mountain, it will produce a lost city for Aquarion. Otherwise, the ruins act like any other ruin. Sawmills, windmills, forges, and markets can be built on water tiles. This is great for adding extra market spots. Even monuments can be built on deep water tiles. The other change that's not on the tech tree is that Aquarian tridents and amphibians no longer have the fortify ability. So those units no longer get a defense bonus when they're in a city or in a wall. Finally, there's a lot of cosmetic changes to Aquarian. Like we mentioned earlier, the units that do not ride termelons now have some variation of mermaid. There's new image sprites with fish-like tails. Mind benders are now called sirens. The catapult is an aquapult. Mermaid defenders carry shields that look like seashells. Even crabs look a little bit different. Remember, these are all beta changes. There's a good chance these updates to Aquarian will get tweaked before heading to the full game. To join the beta, first go to the Battle of Polytopia on Steam. See the Steam link in the description. Next, right-click on the game in the Library tab and go to Properties. Select the beta section and input the code polytopiabetatesters, all one word. Success! Beta unlocked. You know it works when you go over here to the side and see it says Battle of Polytopia with beta in brackets. Then press play. That'll launch the beta version of the game for you to try. To give feedback to Midjuan and the developers on this new beta, head to the official Polytopia Discord server. A link to the official server is in the description. What do you think of this Aquarian rework? Do we miss anything? Let us know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us a lot. Also, consider supporting us directly with a channel membership. Channel members get access to members-only live streams and early access to watch our videos. Join our Discord. A link to the Discord is in the description. Take care. See you on the next one.